Chispa and the Midnight Cup, a World Cup story about belonging, by Read and Grow with Stories. Chispa was small enough to sleep inside a sombrero, but he dreamed of playing in the biggest match in the world. Then one night changed everything. On the night Mexico played, the whole market wore green, white, and red. Flags danced above the stalls. Music poured from open windows. And under a table filled with tiny pet jerseys, a little dog named Chispa watched the crowds rush by. Chispa was small enough to nap inside a sombrero, but his dream was enormous. Every night he wore his little green jersey, sat beneath the market TV, and watched the World Cup with both ears standing tall. He watched every pass, every save, every brave run toward the goal. Most of all, Chispa watched the famous number 10. "One day," he whispered, "I will play beside a player like that." The market cats heard him. The pigeons heard him. Even the sleepy old dog beside the taco stand heard him. "A football player!" They laughed. "Chispa, you're small enough to fit inside a goalpost." But Chispa only looked up at the screen. "Then I will run faster." That night, after the last customer went home, the market became quiet. The tiny jersey stopped swaying. The lights flickered low. Then Chispa heard it. A whistle. Not from the TV, from somewhere under the market floor. Behind a stack of wooden crates, a narrow door slowly opened. A line of green light spilled across the tiles. Chispa followed it down a winding staircase, past old football posters, empty boxes, and walls covered in paw prints. At the bottom he found a sign, "Welcome to the Midnight Cup." Below the market was a stadium no human had ever seen. Dogs raced across the grass. Cats guarded the goalpost. A duck warmed up near the corner flag. Hamsters rolled tiny footballs between their paws. And all around them, animal fans cheered from glowing little stands. Chispa ran to the registration table. "I want to play," he said. The referee looked down at him kindly. "Do you have a team?" Chispa looked around. Every team already had its players. Every bench was full. Every jersey had a name on it. Then, from the very last bench, someone called out, "We still have room!" It was Pato, a nervous duck with a crooked green jersey. Beside him sat Nuez, a hamster that was fast but scared. Mora, a serious goalkeeper cat, and Don Rulo, an old dog with tired legs and wise eyes. "We are Team Todos," said Don Rulo, "because everyone gets a place." Their first game was a disaster. Chispa tried to do everything by himself. He ran too fast. He chased the ball too long. He forgot to look up. The other team took the ball, scored twice, and won before Chispa even understood what had happened. After the match, Chispa sat alone behind the bench. "Maybe they were right," he whispered. "Maybe I'm only supposed to watch." Pato lowered his head. Nuez curled into a tiny ball, but Don Rulo moved beside Chispa and said quietly, "Being on a team isn't about making yourself look big." The old dog pointed toward the empty field. "It's about helping someone else find their place." So Team Todos practiced. Mora taught Chispa how to see the whole field. Nuez showed him how to move through small spaces. Pato learned that his webbed feet could make surprising passes. And Don Rulo taught them all when to slow down. The next night, Team Todos reached the final. The stadium shook with cheers. The score was tied. 1 minute remained. Then the ball rolled towards Chispa. For the first time, the goal was open. For the first time, he could have become the hero. Chispa started to run. Then he heard Pato calling from the side. He saw Nuez racing into space. He saw Don Rulo waiting near the goal. And suddenly, Chispa remembered what a real team looked like. He didn't shoot. He passed. Pato tapped the ball forward with his webbed foot. Nuez slipped between the two defenders. Then Nuez passed it across the grass to Don Rulo. The old dog didn't run fast. He didn't need to. He simply placed one gentle paw on the ball. Goal! The Midnight Cup exploded with cheers. Mora leaped into the air. Nuez spun in circles. Pato flapped both wings. And Chispa ran straight toward Don Rulo. They won because no one had been left out. At sunrise, Chispa climbed back into the market. People were waking up. Families were gathering around TVs. Dogs wore tiny green jerseys. Cats rested on chairs. Even a duck waddled past in a little red and white scarf. On the screen, the famous number 10 passed the ball instead of shooting. Chispa smiled. Chispa hadn't played beside the legend. Not yet. But he'd learned something better. You don't need to be the biggest, fastest, or most famous player to belong. Sometimes belonging begins the moment you make room for someone else. And under the market, when the moon came up again, Team Todos was waiting. And now I just have one question in mind. If you were on Team Todos, what role would you have? Would you be a goalkeeper, a defender, a striker, or maybe something else? Tell me in the comments below. I can't wait to read your answers. And if you enjoyed this video, you can click on this video or this video right here to see more awesome stories. I'll see you there. The end.